Hey, 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 hey. We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's podcast, episode 112. Getting up there, getting old. But anyways, you may notice a new face. We have Emily, a.k.a. Mystique Siren, also a.k.a. Siren, because it's a really long name to put on her picture. So
it was like this long. It was like this long.
Yeah. So, but anyways, welcome. So as you can see, I'm Travis.
I'm Justin. I didn't know if you're pointing at me or not.
I guess I'm pointing at Emily, however I point there. Yeah, and that's Emily right there.
You're over here on me.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. But anyways, Terry is not with us currently, maybe joining us later. But yeah, so Emily is now a new face on Nerds with Mics. I do believe it's going to be a reoccurring thing. So be excited for that. She's going to bring a really good vibe to the podcast. Also, all the Borderlands news you could possibly stand, because that's one of her favorite things, is you can see maybe behind her by all that Borderlands stuff. Looking forward to it. Yeah. As always, we want everybody to participate as much as they can, so feel free to write in, comment. Also, I seen your comment, Justin. Hello. Back to you. Yeah, hello, nerds. So let's go ahead and get started. Some of the things we're going to talk about today, just kind of give you an overall sneak peek. So we're going to talk about Netflix, possibly getting into the gaming world. We're going to talk about Steam Deck announcement. We're going to talk a little bit about Borderlands, because I think we may have forgot to mention some stuff during our E3 episode that Emily may have shooken her fist at us with and yelled to the sky. We're also going to talk about the Loki finale and just our thoughts and theories. And then we're going to answer a couple listener questions as well. So I don't think I missed anything, but if I did, we'll figure it out along the way. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about Netflix first. I think all of us probably watch Netflix every once in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit too much, probably.
Oh, yeah.
We probably watch it so much that it asks us if we're still watching. That's probably how much we watch it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, wait. So supposedly they're going to be getting into gaming news, or not gaming news, but the gaming industry. So because of this, so some of the things, they've made it very vocal. You all remember when Netflix used to do like they would physically mail you the movies, you would watch it, and then it goes back to them. Just think about how much that's changed, right? So supposedly they've definitely voiced their interest in wanting to get into the gaming industry. And now, supposedly, they've announced a streaming service that is going to expand into game content, which is going to be cool, as well as, obviously, the movies and TV shows they already have established. So how do we know this? Well, let me tell you why. There was somebody that decided to mine some data around Justin, I just realized that. We'll get into that after this. Totally forgot about that. I was so excited to get the news, I forgot about what
I know. You're just like so pumped to talk about this.
I know, let's go. But we'll talk about this and then we'll get into that. How about that? So
sure. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, appreciate it. There was some data that was recently mined from their website. And what was uncovered is a possible partnership between Netflix and Sony. And, they're thinking that this could be possibly one of the biggest PlayStation brands to get into the gaming streaming service. So we all know, we've all talked about how Game Pass by far trumps anything that Sony's done as far as, anything game related is, and a service, I should say, Xbox Live, Game Pass. And do we think this is maybe a way to possibly be an actual contender with Xbox, with Microsoft? What do you all think?
Is it going to be like, because you've already got like Stadia, right? Which is the cloud streaming. Right. Is it going to be cloud streaming, or is it going to be, they're going to be like GameFly and send you the games? Like, is it like, how, is it going to be both? Is it, yeah.
No, I think it's going to be more of the digital base, kind of like Netflix already is.
Right.
Where you'll pay like a monthly service fee, and it'll be kind of like PlayStation Now is, where you can download the game digitally and play it. But it will just be obviously an expanded library, because Netflix is obviously going to be able to probably have a lot of these different
Oh yeah.
different licenses and things like that. So I think it could potentially be a huge deal because I can tell you right now, PlayStation Now is less than Game Pass as far as like overall quality and value. Justin, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I think at the moment, details are a little scarce. It's all speculation at this point. It really depends on what path they do decide to take. Will every like Netflix is available on every console already, I believe, except maybe the Switch. Will I be able to play games on every console? So if there is a partnership with Sony, I know Ghost of Tsushima was mentioned. Can I boot up the Netflix app on my Xbox or my iPad and play Ghost of Tsushima? Like, what does this mean? I mean, there's just so many possibilities, and there's also a lot of possible shortcomings that we could be met with.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think too, if anything, it might be like a timed exclusive where they'll say the first year of this service, is going to be strictly on PlayStation, while they obviously figure out all the kinks and acquire more license deals and things like that, and then eventually probably open up to other platforms. So I could see something like this being really popular on something we're going to talk about later, which is the Steam Deck, but also possibly the Nintendo Switch. These portable consoles, I could see that being a big thing with these as well. So I'm excited about it, but I think you're right. What is it?
No, I was just saying, yeah, like I think it could work. It's either going to bomb or it's going to explode, which is the same thing, I guess. You know what I mean? It's either going to do really well or it's going to do really bad. I don't think there's going to be an in between. So.
And I honestly can't think of a time when Netflix failed at something. I mean, I kind of feel like all that they've done has been innovative and successful. So, I mean, if they think that they can do it, I believe that they can. I just want to know exactly what it is. I hope we get more details on that soon.
Yeah, because you also have to think about, like, with GameFly being a thing, right? Like, what happens to GameFly at this point?
They probably die.
Not GameFly.
Yeah. Because I just imagine, I mean, because GameFly is still doing, like, physically mailing you the games, right? Like, it's not really digital with them.
I think they have a digital PC component. I think they used to. I don't know if they still do or not, but I mean, it wasn't very impressive at the time.
Which Stadia is doing pretty well, like the Google State, like their cloud stuff. I recently, like the Borderlands content creation team, they actually did a whole entire YouTube stream of like four or five of them just playing Borderlands via Stadia, via the cloud, and it was like smooth. So I mean, it's possible. You do have to have good internet though. Like that is the key there is the internet. So
I've been using a little bit of xCloud lately. Yeah. And I have pretty good internet, pretty good download speeds and upload speeds, and it's still hit and miss. I don't know if that's me or them or maybe a combination of both, but there are very few games that I would want to fully play on xCloud. Now, I have also tried Stadia. I actually beta tested that before it was called Stadia, and it was very impressive at the time. I have not really, I haven't really tried it since. I have tried GeForce Now. It was okay, but I mean, I feel like they all have a ton of potential to be really successful if we can kind of get, I don't know, all the kinks worked out with latency.
Yeah,
I agree. I think cloud-based stuff is the way of the future, but I definitely feel like it's still almost in kind of the early stages, and it will only get better from here. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the potential of them bringing a gaming service. But yeah, I think there's still too many questions to really know, how it's going to be. And like Emily said, it's either going to be hit or miss, right? No, not really going to be an in between. So, all right. Well, now that I have derailed this podcast completely, we're now going to go back in time, and I'm going to say, hey guys, welcome to the podcast. That's the part where we all talk about what we've been up to. But more importantly, Emily, I want to start with you because for people watching, this may be the first time that they've seen you. You were on our podcast a few times before, but it's been a really long time ago.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. It's been a few years.
Yeah. So why don't you take some time to tell our listeners where they can find you, what you do, and just what you've been up to, and then you can pass it to Justin.
Sure. So I stream on Twitch. I'm affiliate on Twitch. Just to actually hit 10K followers on Twitch. which is pretty awesome. And here in the last, it actually just kind of hit a year that I've been full-time streaming. And I kind of just dove deep into that. COVID caused that, and it's been the best thing that I could have done for my mental health, which is good. So, but yeah, no, I mainly play Borderlands on Twitch. I've been featured on the Borderlands channel, like the actual Bordercast is what they call it. It's a weekly podcast as well, where they talk about Borderlands and just Borderlands, and that's all, and the news surrounding Borderlands and all that. So I've been on that quite a few times, and I just, I enjoy just hanging out and playing that. I play a little bit of Phasmophobia here and there, just for giggles and yelling at the ghost and whatnot.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, it is super fun. I actually have a friend who also is part of the Borderlands content creation team. His name is Vanderforge, and he calls himself the hype Viking of Twitch, because he's just super loud. He's louder than me. Like, if you guys think I'm loud, like he screams and he's loud, and we just go into Phasmophobia and just yell and scream at the ghost, and call them names and stuff. It's a grand old time.
Travis, have you played Phasmophobia?
So
I have not. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That would be a fun one for the three of us to stream. Honestly, that would be a good one.
It's very fun. It's really good. But yeah, so I'm just, like I said, it's Mystique Siren everywhere you go. So I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube, trying to do YouTube videos. Do a few build videos here and there, and but here this past week I've not been streaming. So if you go back and look, you probably won't find any videos because I've been a little ill as of late. So yeah, but Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all the same. Mystique Siren is right there. So yeah, it's right there. And there.
There it is.
And there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the introduction. And like I said, Simon's going to be on here pretty much every week going forward. So if you have any questions for her specifically, feel free to write in. I'm pretty sure she knows literally probably everything that we know, and probably more, because she definitely probably games more than all of us combined. But anyways,
the bunny ears aren't real, by the way. Just in case anybody wants.
No,
they're not part of my head.
That's a shame.
I know, right?
I only invited you because I thought they were real.
I know.
But anyways, Justin, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I've just been doing some light gaming. I think I'm going to jump back into Final Fantasy 14 here pretty soon. I wasn't dabbling a little bit in Ark. We did go to King's Island this week, which was always a really fun time. Watched Space Jam 2, which I don't know if the Hummy Flip is still in the chat. I got to let him know right now. Space Jam 2 is way better than Space Jam 1. No, I'm kidding. He sent me a message. He sent me a message, and I don't have my phone because it's my camera, but it said something like, if any of you say that Space Jam 2 is better, I'll kill you, or something like that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I saw Space Jam 2. I'll have maybe thoughts about that later if we want to talk about it. May save that for whenever Terry joins, if he joins tonight. With Kings Island, celebrated my wife's birthday. Went out with Travis. Was that yesterday?
It was yesterday. Yeah.
God bless. Today feels like it's been like 3 days. But yeah, just hanging out, doing boring stuff.
Things. Yeah. So me personally, I actually last Thursday was the last night of a class that I've been taking. So that was good. I've also been doing a little light gaming as well. Today I actually picked Ratchet and Clank back up. I had been playing that and then set it down and actually picked it up and played a little bit today before the podcast. And then I also hung out with Justin yesterday. As he said, we went to a local barcade, and I had to show him my skills in Smash Brothers because I dominated a space.
Yeah, he did.
And then also I had to show him my skills in Super Punch-Out because I feel like he thought I wasn't very good at that game, but I proved him wrong. Yeah, it's like I'm like Rain Man in that game. I don't know why. It's one of those games I just play, and I'll set in high scores everywhere. And he kept telling me I was going to die, and I kept disappointing him. It was probably it's probably the second greatest day of my life, to be honest.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Right. Well.
Yeah. I like how nobody asked me what the first was, and I'm not going to answer that. Anyways, other than
let's hear it. No, let's hear it. No, let's go back. What is it?
It was the day I was born. Duh.
Oh, is it? Is it? Okay.
But anyways, that's pretty much all I've been up to. Took my dog on a walk today. That was nice. Came home for lunch and went on a nice walk with my dog. But other than that, that's pretty much all I've been up to. I am planning on starting up Mass Effect because Justin and I actually purchased the remaster on PS5, and I figured, you know what, I put it off long enough. Maybe now's the time.
It's time.
I just need you to tell me if I just need to watch a video about 1 and skip and start playing 2, or if I just need to go all the way.
No, play it with the new updates. It feels much better.
Well, Justin, in the comments, not Justin, my co-host, but the Pussycats are fine. Justin, he wanted to know how the Pussycats were. They're good. They're scattered throughout. I'm sure they'll be making an appearance later. Typically, they'll come around at some point. Just fingers crossed. But yeah, they're fine. That comment caught me off guard. I think he's just trying to trick me
when you said Justin, I was like, what? Because I was alt tabbed out. I was looking for a Commander Shepard picture to throw up, but now it's way too late. So I'm not going to try.
Way too late. Yeah.
Way too late. But I was like, what are you talking about? But then I went back and saw the comment.
Yeah, absolutely. So without further ado, let's actually talk about I'm trying to figure this out all in real time here. Let's talk about the Stream Deck. Now that we're all updated.
The Steam Deck?
The Steam Deck. Yeah, the Stream Deck is something else. That is something else. You probably have one of those, don't you, Emily? Yeah, she does.
I do. See, it's right here.
Yeah, I figured you did.
Completely separate thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, not the Stream Deck, but the Steam Deck is a handheld device that is basically the PC version of a Switch that runs basically your Steam library and pretty much anything else. It runs Steam OS, which is a form of Linux. But they've also confirmed that you can actually wipe it, install Windows, and pretty much watch whatever you want to or play anything you want to on it. Did you guys have a chance to check this out? I pre-ordered one, and I think Justin pre-ordered one as well, right? It was a $5 reservation. Kind of took me back to GameStop days. It was a $5 reservation, and you could cancel it if you decide you don't want it. So I thought, you know what? I'll throw $5 down on it just in case.
So does it make you does it charge you when it ships? Did you have to put a credit card in to do that type thing?
No, you put your $5 down and you're buying just a $5 reservation slot. And then when your time comes, they email you to have you actually purchase it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I would have been I don't have the 500 or whatever now. So
and I want to wait and see how it runs some really graphically intensive games. I want to see it run Cyberpunk and maybe Valhalla and stuff like that before I really pull the trigger. But I did reserve my spot. I loved how they announced it on the day that Switch OLED pre-orders went live. That's such a good move.
There was somebody had posted that you could essentially wipe it and put a Nintendo Switch emulator on it. Yeah. If you wanted to.
I mean, realistically, you could put PS4 or PS Remote Play on it. You could put PS Now on it, Xbox on it, and then Dolphin if you want to go down that road. Yeah. But Justin's Werner wants to know: it's like a Switch? Is it like a Switch?
Yeah.
Kind of. It's a gaming PC but handheld. So it really, you got to get out of the mindset that it's a console. It does come with Steam OS, which makes it kind of appear as a console, but you can uninstall it and install Windows and make it a laptop in your pocket pretty much. I have some notes here. It's powered by an AMD Zen 2 CPU and AMD RDN42 GPU. And 16 gigs of RAM, which I think the Switch only has 6 gigs of RAM, if I recall.
Well, and they did say that there's going to be a lot of games that you're not going to be able to play on this because of anti-cheat software. So you're not going to be able to play like Destiny because Destiny requires anti-cheat software.
Really? I didn't hear that.
There's an article saying that there's a lot of these online games that are not going to be able to be played on here. Because to run the game, you have to be running the anti-easy cheat software. So,
But my question is if essentially you could wipe the thing and install Windows on it, what's to keep you from actually installing the anti-cheat
Probably
software?
could then.
you probably could. Yeah.
I wonder if they'll come up with a workaround for that between now and whenever this thing actually releases, because that seems kind of like a downer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Emily.
No, I was just saying, it definitely does.
Yeah.
Some
of the features that I thought were kind of cool. So it has built-in microphone. So if you're doing kind of online gaming, the microphone's built like right into the actual console itself, which is kind of cool. It has Bluetooth where the Switch does not have Bluetooth, so you can virtually use any headphones. I know that IGN got time to do a hands-on, and he was able just to connect his AirPods to it and use his AirPods as his headphones while he played. I thought that was a really nice feature. Obviously is a USB Type-C, which is great to see, with the newer technology. The configures, obviously, if you're looking at it, is very much a Switch look to it. However, what's really neat about it is it has two built-in trackpads that kind of act as like mouse pads, essentially. So if you're playing a game that requires a little bit more precision, because I watched somebody play Portal using just the touchpads itself, which was kind of neat. And then also in the back, kind of similar to some of the Pro controllers you see, it actually has triggers on the back as well that you can program to be other things, kind of like the Elite controllers having the paddles on the back, which I thought was really cool too.
Here's a screen grab real quick from the IGN hands-on thing. That thing is significantly larger than the Switch.
It's beefy.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's huge.
And one other thing too to note, if you're talking about most consoles, is look at how they decided the thumbsticks go. Mm-hmm. I know most people that use like Xbox controllers that has the offset, where this is the inline, and they said the reason they did this is because of the trackpad placement. But according to IGN, they said they were kind of concerned about how it was going to feel in the hand initially. But once they started playing it made sense to them why it was designed this way. My concern, and this is kind of embarrassing to say, but my concern is if you have smaller hands, what is this going to feel like when you're actually playing it? You know what I mean? Because like you all said, it is quite bigger than a Switch. Even though the new Switch coming out, the OLED model is a 7-inch display. This is also a 7-inch display, and it is also a 720p display like the Switch is as well. However, the screen is capable of running at 60 hertz, which is kind of cool. And then I know Justin had mentioned the tech specs, but here it is as well. It also has motion sensing built into it as well, similar to how the Switch does. And then it runs at slightly higher than 720p. It's 1280 by 800, so just slightly higher there. And it also has the ambient light sensor, which will change the screen based on the lighting around you, which is nice. But yeah, I think it's a really cool concept. Battery life, I think, is going to be a big thing, anywhere between 2 to 8 hours, depending on what it is you're playing. I think they said, like with Portal 2, for instance, you can expect to get anywhere between 4 to 6 hours. But I imagine the higher the settings that you're running and the more graphically intense games are probably going to be closer to the 2 hour mark, I would say. Yeah. It is also worth noting, they are making a dock for it, similar to the Switch dock, but it's going to have like HDMI and USBs. Basically, you can dock this thing and use it like a PC on an external monitor.
Mouse, keyboard, all of it.
Yeah, you can see the external output though. Check this out. So if you have it hooked to an external display, it's capable of up to 8K support at 60 hertz or capable of 4K at 120 hertz, which is pretty interesting.
That is, that's...
Yeah. So I think this is, let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about who we think this is for. For me personally, and then I'll get each one of your all's thoughts. For me, I don't own a gaming laptop. Okay. I probably would never own a gaming laptop. However, this appeals to me. The fact that, because most of my games I buy on PC are all through Steam, but also the flexibility to be able to, because you can also install like the Epic software,
Epic Game Store.
Yeah, Epic Game Store and all the other stores you can put on here and be able to virtually run anything. It's like having a super portable PC that you can also dock and use as an external like computer essentially. So to me, it appeals to me because I don't have a gaming laptop. I think if you have a gaming laptop, it probably loses some of its appeal. What's your all's thoughts?
Yeah, I do have a gaming laptop, and that was one of the things I was considering. Like, is this something that I need? And in reality, I don't really need any of it. But like, I was thinking, like, would I use this more than my laptop? And honestly, I don't know the answer to that question. I mainly use my gaming laptop like if I'm not in my office to play games there. Like if I'm just in my living room, even I'll pop it up and play. But like with this, I could take it and play on my lunch break, or I could take it and, if I'm riding in a car, I could play, or, on vacation and maybe have some downtime or whatever. I feel like it is more versatile than an actual laptop, just because it's so compact and it doesn't require, a mouse or a controller really, like I usually pack with my laptop. So I do feel like, I'm interested. I did put the reservation in, but I'm definitely going to wait and see. Cause like all they've shown so far is like Hades and Jedi Fallen Order and something else. I can't remember. Death Stranding. Thank you. I want to see more games with like more chaos going on. Cause even that one shot of Jedi Fallen Order was like him just encountering like 2 stormtroopers. I want to see like, I don't know. I want to see something just completely nutty, where it's really going to test the frame rate of this machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, like the main reason why I bought a Switch was because I was like, I want to play like while I'm just chilling on the couch. Like I don't want to boot up my PC, or I don't want to, because everything is in my game room here. And having the Switch was nice because then I could just sit on the couch. But it's gotten to the point where I've just strictly went PC gaming. I've kind of went away from console, from Switch, just in general. And so like for me, where I'm streaming constantly, and I'm whenever I'm playing games, I'm more than likely streaming. So having the Steam Deck and just being able to sit on the couch, and I end my stream playing Borderlands, right? And then I can sit there and have my save file probably from my PC, have it on because it's cloud save. If it's cloud save, then it should be there. I can literally just pick up right where I left off and continue grinding for that perfect roll on that gun that I'm looking for in the living room, because Jesse wants to hang out, or Jesse, is watching TV, and we're trying to spend more time together, but I'm going to still play video games on the couch. So for me, like that's what I would like it for. And I think a lot of streamers, because I've been on streamer Twitter a lot here when this released, and it went crazy. Streamers went shit crazy. They were literally like, I have to have this. They were freaking out because their account was too old or too new or whatever. Like they were having all the issues. So I think it's for the streamer, honestly.
Yeah. And I do. Yeah, and I pulled up some of the features here, and you're absolutely right. Cloud save is compatible, so you'll be able to just pick right up where you left off. I also think it's worth noting here. So we were talking about the graphic ability, right? So one thing worth noting is obviously you can play games straight from it, which that in itself is going to be restricted by what the hardware can do. However, if you have a big gaming rig like Emily has, it also does remote play, so you're not using the actual GPU on the actual Steam Deck itself. You're streaming it from your PC, so theoretically you could get a higher quality of game running remotely, or you're able to play games that you wouldn't be able to normally play on the Steam Deck, possibly like a Cyberpunk type game, but being able to run it like at a higher setting because you can use remote play. So you're really getting a multitude of devices. And I know that's one of the things that IGN talked about, was just how universal this device is, being able to run different types of things, being able to do remote play or play on the device itself. So I'm really excited for the possibility, but I'm also very cautious because I think about things like when they made the Steam controller that was super weird, that didn't really have like a lot of buttons, and it was all like rubber touch pads and all sorts of things that like didn't really work out, that they just kind of walked away from. And I know that the head, the CEO of Steam basically said The big thing that we wanted to work on was how well it performed first and foremost, but also secondly, the price. It was very important to them that they got to that $399 price point with the entry level to be a real contender. Because if you think about this price point, think about the cost of a Switch, think about the cost of a PS5, and think about the cost of the new Xbox. It's really not that much more to get an actual console. So you could see why they were trying to get in that $400 price range, because most people will look at this and be like, well, why would I spend $400 when I can buy, an Xbox Series S or Series, you know what I mean? So I think the price point entry level is very aggressive, but I think that we're going to have to see more before a lot more people become on board, because I think there's going to be a lot of people that are cautious of the limitations of this machine. So, but yeah. But I'm excited. I am excited.
I was trying to find while you were talking, I was trying to find some comparisons to like last generation consoles, because obviously compared to the new gen of consoles, it's not gonna come close. But I couldn't find any that compared to like the PS4 or Xbox One. I had read something. Now this isn't from a verified source, so I probably shouldn't be saying it. But what the heck? Someone a couple days ago on Reddit had said that it has a more powerful CPU and GPU than the base PS4 model. So I don't really know what that means. I mean, if you play The Last of Us Part 2, it's stunning. So, Ghost of Tsushima, stunning. So perhaps we're in for a treat maybe for the next few years with this thing.
Yeah. I know that they said that they're using all the latest technology as far as mobile processing and mobile power. And I think they said that Jedi Fallen Order, when IGN played Jedi Fallen Order on it, it was running at, I think, high settings, not the highest, but high settings, and it was running just fine. But I don't know. I think only time will tell. And I also think it also has to do with the software. How efficient the software is will also determine how well the games run too. So I think only time will tell. But December isn't really that far away if you think about it. So hopefully we get more details as time gets closer. Looks like we have a comment from the homie Flip. It says, I feel this is Valve's attempt to be what you wanted from the Switch Pro and not the OLED. I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah, and like obviously this wasn't created just overnight whenever they didn't announce the Pro. This has been something they've been working on for a while, but I do, like I said a minute ago, I do love the timing of the announcement. And Flip, I don't know if you're here a minute ago, Space Jam 2 is better than Space Jam 1. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, he was. He's been here since 8:32 because he says I'm ready to nerd out. So
well, look, he commented that from YouTube though. He commented this one from Twitch.
Yeah,
he's all over
double
the place.
dipping viewers.
Twitch is cooler. I'm just kidding.
But anyways, go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like the timing's perfect though, because I was very Flip says he'll fight me. I was very disappointed when we didn't get a Switch Pro announcement. And honestly, I don't know why, because I don't really play my Switch that much. I did start playing Skyward Sword, which I forgot to mention at the beginning. But like, I go months without touching my Switch, and I don't really know what I would do with a Pro, but I do play my PC games quite a bit, so I do know I'd play this thing. So I don't know.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. We'll just have to wait and see when it gets here, and make our decision then. Emily, I know that Justin and I obviously pre-order one, but is it something you think you'll get as long as it meets all your expectations?
Like if I had the money to do it, yes, because like I said, I have so many things in my Steam library that I would not just boot up my PC for, like I've bought all these like things on sale, like these games that I've been interested in and all these things. Right. And it's one of those things of like sitting down and going, okay, I'm gonna boot up my computer for this game. No, probably not. So I feel like this would be the solution to, I can actually, play all these games that I would normally not play on my PC. Now, would I probably just play Borderlands on my PC? Yeah, because my PC is obviously better and it runs better and it's going to look graphically probably better. So I would probably just play like the other things on this, but I would totally get it. Yeah.
So
if I had the cheese.
I have a question now about something, and this isn't something I don't think any of us will have the answer to, but for games that have like a hotbar, like an MMO or like a game like Ark or Rust, where you have your hotbar with your stuff at the bottom, there's no keyboard with this thing, but it does have a touch screen. Would you just tap the hotbar icon? Is that going to be a feature that developers will implement, you think?
It is touchscreen. Like, is this touchscreen?
Yeah, it is. Right? Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also, I'm hoping that they implement the being able to, obviously, because with most PC games, you can change your keys and your key bindings. So I'm hoping that also you can do that with all of the keys on this as well. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Have to wait and see. I'm really looking forward to when it's in the hands of reviewers and we're getting like the millions of YouTube videos. It's like, check out this game on the Steam Deck, and it's like every game in existence, basically like a demo of it being played. Because I just wonder how they run. I'm very curious to see how they're going to run.
Yeah, and I'm also anxious to see, like, think about what the modding community did for the Quest, right? Mm-hmm. Like how all the things that they made those things do that wasn't native features, and the fact that they have like a way to sideload games you don't normally get, and all these homebrewed games and things like that. I can imagine that the community for this thing, once it's out, and the fact that you can basically do whatever you want to, that I think the capability is only going to increase. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's also all going to be limited. Like, it's only going to be restricted by the performance that it can do, right? So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what that actual benchmark is.
Another note on performance is Gabe Newell, I think is his name, the Valve guy. He had said, someone asked him about VR, and he said that he couldn't guarantee the performance you would get playing certain VR games, but he said all the ports are available out of the box to play VR.
Yeah.
So I guess it's maybe a trial and error kind of thing. Probably not Half-Life Alyx, but probably something simple. Maybe Beat Saber would work. Frame rate might be iffy though.
Love Beat Saber.
Yeah, Beat Saber is awesome.
This is so fun.
Did we talk about pricing yet? I know I had the blurb up, but I don't know if we actually went over it.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the price point for the 64 gig model is $399, $50 more than the new Switch OLED. There is some questions about that because Gabe had also mentioned, someone asked about replacing the solid state drive, and he had mentioned that the M2 slot in the 64 gig was not in use. So technically, you would think you'd be able to install your own and expand the storage yourself. But who knows? I mean, no one's really had a chance to look at the guts on this thing to see if everything's like attached to the motherboard or not. So that'll be interesting to see if that's the case, because then the 64 gig becomes way more attractive, I think, than the 512, just because you can put your own storage in for much cheaper. You can get a 512 solid state drive for much less than, what is that, $250 pretty much?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, you can get a 2 terabyte, I think, for that. Maybe just a terabyte. I'm not sure, but
they may not support a 2 terabyte. So it's obvious. Like, you have to make sure that it's going to support whatever you put into it too. So
yeah, there could be a max limit to that. I wonder. Yeah, like, who knows if you'll be able to like pop the RAM out and update the RAM. I don't know. I assume all of that will be kind of locked in.
I mean, it's a PC, so right, it's a mini PC. So you would think, being a mini PC, that it would give you the ability to customize, but
that would be awesome.
Fingers
crossed.
I don't know.
We'll see. And it maybe if not with this version, maybe the second version of it or third version, because they mentioned that this would be something that would kind of get the ball rolling, and then other people could even make their own versions of this hardware. So it's, I don't know, crazy times.
Yeah, I'm excited though. All right, so I had mentioned at the top of the show that Emily was very upset that we didn't talk about Borderlands news during E3, and she cursed the skies and shook her fist at us. Hey, it's Skybug. It's her dog Sky. Everybody say hello to Sky. Hi, Sky.
Hello.
I have pussycat. She has dog. That's how that works. But anyways, so Emily, why don't you fill us in on some of the stuff that was announced for Borderlands at E3, and also if you have any thoughts about the Borderlands movie, we would love to hear that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh God, there's so much. I could talk for hours on it. But so at E3, one of the very first things Gearbox announced was Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and they'd been teasing it for like a week and a half. It was just a tease that had this weird, background with these flames coming up, and it said "Be chaotic, great." And they finally revealed that the trailer, and they revealed Tiny Tina and Butt Stallion are coming back. And pretty much if you played Borderlands 2 and you played Bunkers and Badasses, the DLC Bunkers and Badasses, it's going to be like not really continuation probably, but they're going to take the same type of play style and expand on that. So if you didn't play it, what the DLC in Borderlands 2 was a D&D style. Tiny Tina was your dungeon master, and she literally made you like go through, this make-believe town trying to find the princess, which ended up being Butt Stallion. And so and there was all these really funny things that you saw. They had a gun that would shoot swords in that DLC. So that was more geared towards the Borderlands like 2 and Borderlands 3 style of gameplay. This is going to be a little bit more geared towards like that MMO along with a like Borderlands feel. So you're going to have instead of grenades, you're going to have spells. And they've said that they're going to do that. They have a huge cast. They have Will Arnett, Wanda Sykes, Andy Samberg playing some of the characters in there. Of course, Ashley Birch is reprising her role as Tiny Tina. And of course, Butt Stallion is coming back as well. But as you can see here, you're going to have spells, you're going to have guns, it's going to just be like a smash up between a D&D campaign and Borderlands. And we don't know a whole lot about it other than we're going to have magic spells. We're going to have guns. There's probably going to be the RNG factor, the rolling of the dice and all that stuff too.
The rolling of the dice.
Rolling of the dice. Because like in the DLC in Borderlands 2, the chest, when you opened them, they rolled the dice. The dice was on top and it rolled. And if you, of course, got the D20, then you got a chance to get like a really good gun out of it. So I'm sure that they'll do a lot of stuff like that. But there's not a whole lot of information other than the trailer and just a little bit of what they've talked about it. They said that they are going to announce more stuff come before summer ends, is what they said. They're going to announce more stuff on it. And it says it's going to be here early 2022. So Gearbox is one of those companies that when they announce something, it's usually right around the corner. Like they did that with Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 was announced in, I believe, May, and it was here in September.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a pretty quick turnaround for that one.
And I mean, so that's huge. And then of course, as soon as that happened, Borderlands 3 just got a huge update, and you now have access to all the seasonal events for free. So Borderlands 3 was doing seasonal events where you did a Halloween event, they did a Valentine's Day event, and they also did something called Revenge of the Cartels, where you actually went to a cartel leader's hideout and you had to go in and just kill a bunch of people, and you would have to go around the galaxy to find all the decoder rings. It was super synthwave 80s style.
Oh, that's cool.
And the music is synthwave 80s style too. So when you go in there, there's DeLoreans everywhere. There's iridium piles, dust piles everywhere that you can break and get like the currency. But they made all this stuff permanent, whereas before it was only like a 30-day limited time thing.
Yeah.
So now you can go in there and you can just do these anytime. So Borderlands 3 right now is like, it's the perfect time to play and pick up if you have not played it, or if you maybe played it when it first came out. It's a completely different game now. Like it's legit, like they did a 180, 360, whatever you want to call it. And they completely turned the game around for the better. And it's there's so much content right now. So
and they also updated it. I believe in June. I think they updated it to now have crossplay.
Yes, that was the update as well. So they added all the seasonal events so that you could turn them off and on at any given time. And then they also added crossplay. Sadly, Sony wanted money to enable crossplay. And the reason why people were like, oh, when Gearbox has said crossplay's coming, and they said, we're working on it. The reason why it took so long is because Sony kept saying that they wanted money to do crossplay. And finally, Gearbox was like, fine, you don't get crossplay. So the only PC and Xbox can crossplay, but Sony cannot.
Gosh,
because of that.
Sony sucks when it comes to stuff like that. They're so annoying. They make such good hardware and they do make good games, but they are just so crappy when it comes to fan service.
They're money hungry, greedy.
Oh my god. They did that crap too with mod support for Skyrim when they wouldn't cave in on certain things, and then I think the maximum amount of mod storage is just pathetic and low.
Yeah.
And it's just it's so dumb. I hate the way they do things. I wish Phil Spencer could run every gaming company, but that sounds cool. Tiny Tina, that sounds cool. I didn't know what it was, and the fact that it's like a D&D campaign makes me really interested. Also, I don't know if you watch Mythic Quest, but Ashley Birch is on that show. She's really good on it. Love that show. Yeah,
I love Ashley Birch and just everything that she does. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn,
Aloy,
Aloy. She was Aloy. I recently replayed that on stream, and I had such a fantastic time. Even though I already knew what was happening, what was going on, I still absolutely loved it. But no, she's amazing, and like I said, she's coming back and reprising her role as Tiny Tina.
Cool.
And I'm excited to see what other things that we get in Wonderlands. So when I was on the Bordercast, they asked me what do you want from this video game, and I said I want crossbows. Give me ranged weapons, because we have guns in Borderlands. If I want to play with guns, I'll go to play Borderlands 3. I was like, I want crossbows. Give me magic, which we're getting. We're getting magic in the form of, instead of grenades, we are going to be able to throw magic spells. But I want crossbows. I want chakrams. If you ever play Kingdoms of Amalur, they have chakrams that you can throw. I want stuff like that. So
you're saying if we get crossbows, it's because of you?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I think that deserves a special thanks credit, at least at the end
of
the game.
Exactly.
Consultant, I don't know, something. Your name better be in the credits.
And they could also lean heavily into melee weapons too. I think would be kind of cool.
They've not done melee weapons in a Borderlands. I mean, Zero technically had his sword, but it wasn't really something that you could just it was there, but it wasn't special, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is their chance to do melee, and I think it'll do well. So
yeah, especially if they do a stealth based class as well, which would be kind of cool. So
that too. I'm excited to see what classes we're gonna be able to play as.
And I have to say, I haven't played. I have Borderlands 3. I have maybe played less than an hour of it because I didn't finish Borderlands 2. I didn't want to go to 3. I know, I'm a disgrace. But anyways, maybe that's something we can stream at some point.
Yeah.
But I think honestly though, the whole D&D thing is probably enough to suck me back in, because I'm all about that. That sounds really awesome.
Yeah. Well, if you say you haven't finished Borderlands 2.
I have not. No.
You okay? Oh gosh. Yeah. So Borderlands 2, the DLCs are great. The Tiny Tina DLC is probably the best of all the DLCs. But the thing is though, with Borderlands 3, you don't need to have finished Borderlands 2 to play Borderlands 3 necessarily. It's the ending to Borderlands 2 doesn't really necessarily play all that into
much in the 3. Okay.
Yes, they did do right before Borderlands 3 came out. They actually did a Commander Lilith the Fight for Sanctuary DLC. Yeah. It was a free DLC that you could get, and it essentially led into Borderlands 3. And it was pretty much just showing us what they had been up to since the time frame between 2 and 3. So.
All right. Well, I guess I don't have an excuse then.
Yeah. So you could always just play that part. You could finish, play that part, and then play 3, and you'd be okay. So.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we probably don't know much about the Borderlands movie to even talk about it, other than it's finished filming, right? That's all we know.
Yes, so it's finished filming. Sorry, I told you I could talk about this for hours. So Borderlands, yes, Borderlands movie is finished filming. They are obviously still have a lot of stuff to do. Ariana Greenblatt, who is young Gamora, is Tiny Tina.
Cool.
And she has been posting, if you don't follow her on Twitter, she has been posting nonstop on Twitter about like how excited she is. And if you haven't seen the pictures, so Jamie Lee Curtis is playing Tannis. Okay. And she's a photographer. She loves taking backstage photos. She did these silhouette, if you probably find them, but she did these silhouette pictures of each of the characters where you didn't see any details, but just the outline of the characters, and the characters just came to life. Like they looked like Lilith, it looked like Roland, it looked like Tiny Tina. I mean, they were gorgeous, but they were just a light backlighting the characters on the stairway, and it brings a lot of hype for the movie, because the movie isn't necessarily going to be something that goes in line with Borderlands 2 or even Borderlands 1. Yes, it's the same characters, but the actual story itself may not go in line with those games. It's going to be more of its own kind of story. So
yeah, like this image here.
Yeah, and then they had individual ones too. You probably scroll down, they might show them individual ones of each of the characters. And yeah, so
not here, but yeah.
Yeah, they had they were on stairwells. So as you can see, like even though Kevin Hart is a little short, I think he's still going to do a really good job. And that's what everybody's like, oh, he's too short to be Roland, and he's too funny to be Roland. And I'm like, nah, he's an actor. Like that's what he does.
The thing is, though, is if they can make Tom Cruise look tall, they can make anybody look tall.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's Claptrap. There you go. Krieg. John, is that Florian? I think Florian. That's Ariana Greenblatt and Jamie Lee Curtis. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm excited. For Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. Yep. There's Roland, and then Lilith should be. Yep. Lilith looks great. Just her silhouette just makes me so excited. So
yeah, that's dope.
I think it'll be a fun movie. I'm excited to even get a trailer for it.
Yes, me too.
Who's making this movie?
Eli Roth.
Oh shoot! I didn't know that.
Lionsgate, Eli Roth.
All right, I was like, I wonder who's
Blood
gonna be
everywhere.
Yeah, okay, I'm excited for it now. I didn't know he was making it, so that's pretty great.
Yep, Eli Roth.
Man,
it's gonna be awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. Do we have a release date or like a window of any kind? No, okay.
I don't think
Really?
so. No.
Wow, I thought for sure if they'd already wrapped, they would have a time. It does say 2022, so it looks like we've got a while.
Mm-hmm.
Bet you it comes out around E3 time next year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, because they did do like Borderlands 3. They did a launch party for Borderlands 3, like when Borderlands 3 released and whatnot. So possibly, maybe they could invite someone to see the movie when it comes out.
Have you been to Gearbox Studios?
Yeah, I have been. I flew to Texas to visit family one year, and I was in contact with the community manager on Twitter, and he was like, "Sure, you want to come hang out and come see the office, come play Borderlands?" And I was like, so it was like, and it was before Borderlands 3 came out. Like it was after the initial like huge party that they had out in California, and they pretty much it was like, I think it was like June, before they released Borderlands 3. And me and my friend drove up to Dallas, Frisco, and stayed in a hotel, and I got to play Borderlands before it released. Awesome. And it was one of the highlights of my life. like Travis, that whatever your highlight of your life was, that was mine.
I already forgot what it was.
I know that there's no release date, but do you think you could use your relationship with them to get maybe LA premiere tickets for yourself?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe if because they invite people, they do these events and stuff like that. Hopefully post COVID, they might do some more of those.
That'd
And
be
if
awesome.
they do and they want to,
I hope you get them. I hope you get
That
to
would
go
be
to
good.
the LA premiere. Your
We'll
picture
see.
needs to
Fingers
be
crossed.
you and Kevin Hart hanging out or something, or
I'm
Eli
just gonna,
Roth.
I'm gonna, yeah, I don't even know. I'll cry. I'm just gonna be in a corner, the ball of tears.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough about Borderlands. I got to cut you off now.
That's fine.
Or else we're gonna,
I
just realized we're going to an hour and we still have a few topics to talk about, especially, Loki. WTF. Absolutely. So we're going to talk about the Loki finale and also theories and stuff like that. So if you haven't watched it and you don't want spoilers, I would suggest just turning us off and then finishing the rest later when you can. After this, we're going to answer a couple of listener questions, and then we're going to wrap it up with our picks of the week. But yeah, so Loki. So who wants to start off by telling us the thoughts on the episode?
I guess I can.
Yeah. There you go.
So, I mean, we knew going into this one, things were going to get real wild. And oh my gosh. I mean, they introduced, while they didn't name him, they did say, he mentioned he was a conqueror. And we already knew that Jonathan Majors is playing King the Conqueror in Ant-Man 3. So we did get to see King for the first time in the MCU, portrayed by Jonathan Majors. Also goes by He Who Remains. That whole scene, I will admit, that whole scene was, if his performance wouldn't have been as good as it was, that scene would have drug on because they were sitting there talking for a long time, and the camera kept zooming in on him, and then would pull back, and then go back in. And I was like, how many times are you gonna do this camera shot? But so basically, all the time that had happened had already caught up with what he knew, and he didn't know what was going to happen next. And he gave them a choice: you can take over and oversee the sacred timeline, or you can kill me and create millions of universes, one where there's millions of Kangs out there, all of them different, all of them ready to wreak havoc. And just holy smokes, the multiverse is here. I'm super pumped.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be good, but I wasn't prepared for the ride that they were going to take me and the journey that we were going to go to get there. That character, I wasn't with Kang. I wasn't a huge fan of how they first initially introduced him into it, because I was like, this is just real strange when he's like in the elevator and he's like teleporting around and stuff. And I'm just like, this is just strange. But once he actually like sat behind the desk and they got more in the dialogue and stuff like that, and he started doing a little bit of his backstory and like was using his fancy time watch to like show them like about him and his past and stuff. That's when I was really kind of sucked into it. I also really liked the back and forth between Loki and Sylvia when they were trying to decide what to do. And it just honestly kind of broke my heart for Loki, because he felt like he was literally trying to do the right thing. And
for once.
For once. And you feel like, man, this is finally his chance, his redemption. And then it's just taken from him. You know what I mean? It's like, it makes you feel for him, because he definitely wanted to be with Sylvia. And he even presented that as an opportunity. Hey, you guys can watch over this. You guys can do it together. This will give you a moment to be together. But she chose chaos, right?
Yeah.
And just the ramifications that we saw unfold after that, you're like, what? What's happening?
Like, I think that she maybe still thought that it was a trap, like that what she was doing is the right thing. And who's to say that was the right thing or the wrong thing or whatever. What I'm excited to see what happens next, because like you said, all those different verses now exist, because it's past the red line. There's no going back.
Yeah.
Right. There's absolutely no going back. And so also, I'm hoping that she realizes what she's done and she goes in search of Loki, because who knows what timeline he's on? Who knows what multiverse he's in? Correct. She kicked him into a multiverse, and she's going to have to search every single multiverse to find him.
Yeah.
Oof. And and the thing is like, and then they kissed, and I was just like, I was like, you kissed yourself, but who else would you have had been in love? I mean, who else could you have found that like loved you as much as you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
it's kind of fitting.
It is. It's very fitting.
Yeah,
this guy right here. Yeah. This guy.
Justin, you have something to say? I heard you take a big deep breath.
Yeah. I was going to talk about Mobius for a moment because I really, even when she defeated him once again at the TVA office, and he's like, all right, you got me, just prune me again, basically. I enjoyed that. Going back to you mentioning Loki being thrown into a different universe, and when he finds Mobius and Hunter B-15 and they don't know who he is, that crushed me. I don't know why. I'm so invested.
It crushed me too.
Yeah, I'm so invested in the Mobius Loki bromance. Like, I only care about those two characters right now in the MCU. So I don't know how he will ever be reunited with anybody that he knows, like, or that knows him. It's just crazy.
So another thing I noticed, of course, is I think before everything split, Ren is it Renslayer? Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So she left. We don't know where the heck she went.
She went to find free will.
Free will. She said free will. So is she? I think she's going to have to end up teaming up or finding Loki and Sylvie, and because they're probably the only three people now that know what's really going on in a way. Like I'm excited. I like her character. I really like her character. I think she knows more than she's letting on. I mean, she has from the beginning, obviously.
Well, she definitely does, yeah.
Right. So I love that they showed her past, too, like who she was in a past life. She was a teacher or principal or something like that. So,
she went to Ohio State University, too. Did y'all notice that? She had a plaque on the wall.
Did she? That's interesting.
I feel like Marvel and Ohio have this relationship.
Right? With Thor? Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a ton of Ohio references just in everything. And I think they filmed Avengers in Cleveland instead of New York. So they've got this soft spot. Black Widow had a scene, I think, in Cleveland. Like, I think that's where they started out, actually. Yeah. So, like, they have this love affair with Ohio, which is interesting because
Thor, I think it was Thor: The Dark World, had Ohio State in it, like the campus. So
what I'm anxious to see is what season 2 holds, because that was also a plot twist. Because I think everybody going into this was like, oh, Disney's just doing these like one season shows, and then all of a sudden you see those after credits and you're like, oh, okay, cool. One thing too that I thought was interesting is I was thinking about you remember in Infinity War when Doctor Strange was going through all the possibilities of how they won? Do we think that this has to do with the multiverse, but we didn't know it at the time? Because how was he able to search through all those different possibilities if they didn't exist?
Maybe.
I don't know. We're getting into Doctor Who territory here, okay?
Yeah.
Doctor Who. Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't know if I'm smart enough to keep up with the MCU after this. Like, I might be too dumb to understand what's happening.
We definitely are.
I mean, because with the movies, like, how is this going to impact the movies from here on out? How is this going to? Because is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still on? Are they still making seasons of that, or did they end that? Did they? Because I liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because every time there was a movie, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. took a break, and the movie happened, and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. picked back up and was like, "Oh, that happened," you know. Yeah. So I was like, I would have loved for them to have an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like mini. They could do even like a mini series of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of like hitting on like what is happening now, like how this affects the universe.
Yeah,
I think Spider-Man will be the first multiverse movie we get, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to have, I think they're also going to introduce Doctor Strange in that, and then also leading into his movie. We get that Christmas too. We haven't even gotten a trailer for it yet, which is crazy to think about.
We get was it Shang-Chi? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
I think so.
We get that. I think October. No, September 3rd. Holy smokes!
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we might get a Spider-Man trailer around that time.
Did you all watch the trailer for What If?
Yeah.
If you haven't, I would definitely recommend it. It's a new show. It's a new show coming to Disney Plus that it's animated, and they use the likeness of like the characters from the MCU. But basically it's a story about like what if scenarios, like, so the things that we know as of like in this modern MCU now, what if things were different? So like as you're watching the trailer, they're introducing a character that you obviously think Star-Lord, but when he takes his mask off, it's Black Panther. Or like in the beginning of Iron Man, when he's about to die and get blown up by a missile, the villain in Black Panther saves him. Killmonger, I think. Yeah, Killmonger. Yeah. And it's just like all these different things that you think you know how it's going to unfold, but it's something completely different. And that's why they call it What If, because it's like all these. Then they even get into like there's a sneak, like a small little snippet of Captain America as a zombie.
Yeah. And like Peggy Carter, she is Captain America, I believe in that, isn't she?
Captain Carter, yes.
Captain Carter.
Yes, but it looks really neat, and that comes out in August, which so you should definitely check that out.
Definitely will.
Yeah, but Loki, I'm super excited. I'm wondering if it's possible we see Loki in Doctor Strange or Spider-Man. I'm willing to bet we'll see him in Doctor Strange. I'm not so sure about Spider-Man.
Maybe Doctor Strange, yeah. I think, and I kind of wonder too, because let's go back to WandaVision. Emily, have you seen WandaVision?
Yeah, I've watched them all.
Okay, great, perfect. So the very end of that, she's in this cabin far away. She's doing her witch stuff, and then she hears her power. She hears her kids talking.
Mm-hmm.
They're screaming.
Yeah, they're like, "Mom, whatever." Could they be possibly in a different universe? And could Ralph Boner, Evan Peters, could he actually really be a multiverse Quicksilver? Like, could all of that kind of make sense? I don't know. People have brought that up, especially about the kids.
Yeah. That whole scene was just like,
I mean, there has to be significance behind the kids saying something, and I don't really know like what else that could be, unless because like I mean I know she like conjured them up, but like maybe she didn't erase them, maybe she teleported them somewhere and didn't realize it. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. I think I'm too dumb to keep up with it now.
No, well, and then you've also got the Vision. Like he has Vision's memory, so he's Vision. Like he's still
he's out.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Like, I can't even, it's like you said, Justin, it's like, who knows? Yeah. We're going to think one thing and it's going to be a complete opposite.
I hope that we get some, I think I'm more excited for the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi than I am the actual movie.
Yeah.
And I think I'm probably more excited about the post-credit scene for Spider-Man because I just want to get to Doctor Strange now.
Yeah, and like you were saying with like Loki, I want to see Loki more in movies now. I want like, even though like he's a villain, but like I always enjoyed Loki as a villain though. In all the movies that he was ever in, I truly enjoyed his character, and so the fact that they did a whole show on it just makes you love him even more. And obviously he's grown, and I really hope that he gets his own movie.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I would love a Loki movie, but that's just me.
I do wonder like how long we're gonna have to wait for a season 2. Like, I can't imagine they would have announced the season 2 without having an idea of what it's going to cover and where it fits in with the movies. Like, will it be pre-Doctor Strange? No, probably not, because I think that's early 2022. But like, where does it fit? And like, will it pick up with Mobius going, "Who are you?" Or will it pick up like, will that part already be resolved maybe in a movie? Post-credit scene. I don't know. I just have so many questions, and like I know that it's going to be a while. I'm just not patient enough for it.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what unfolds, and I think we're all just going to have to learn how to be patient, because it's honestly going to be one of those ways that if they want to bring back any characters that were killed off, this would be a way they could do it, because there's now a multiverse of possibilities. So
this will probably be how we get. Well, no, probably not. Let's see how we get X-Men and maybe Fantastic Four, but probably not. They'll probably just introduce them organically.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, so let's move on. So we're going to answer a couple of listener questions, and I think the first one we got was from Cortland. So Justin, you want to put that up? So go ahead.
Oh yeah, Cortland wants to know what our favorite Wes Anderson movie is. Emily, you said you've never seen a Wes Anderson movie before, right?
I thought maybe I had, and I looked up I looked up Wes Anderson movies, and I was like, and I actually, the first thing that pulls up, which is probably going to be one you'll recommend to me, is the Grand Budapest Hotel.
It's a great one. That was the one I think that won Oscars. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've always meant to watch that. Always meant to, but never did. So, yeah. But no, haven't seen anything. I scrolled for hours. It feels like, and I saw none of them.
My favorite is The Royal Tenenbaums. It's just a funny yet heartbreaking story. Has Mobius in it. I'm just gonna start calling Owen Wilson Mobius from here on out. Actually, he's actually in like almost every Wes Anderson movie.
Really?
Both of the Wilson brothers. They went to college with Wes Anderson, and there's a third Wilson brother also that appears in them as well. But yeah, they're in pretty much all of them. I would recommend The Royal Tenenbaums. That is my favorite, but you really can't go wrong. Grand Budapest Hotel, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is really good. Moonrise Kingdom is fantastic. Fantastic Mr. Fox. I mean, that's an animated stop motion animation movie, but it's really good. I'm really excited to see The French Dispatch when it comes out. Real quick, we had a comment from Justin Zwerner. He wants, what did you guys think of the Fear Street movies? I only saw the first one, actually. I watched the first one this weekend. It was actually pretty good. I'm going to watch the other two coming up. Travis, have you seen them?
I've not seen them, but that's on my to-do list this week.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'd recommend the Royal Tenenbaums or like Grand Budapest or Moonrise Kingdom. I think those are probably the best ones to ease you into.
Yeah, I'll try to watch one of those before next week. That way I can give you my full review.
I cannot wait. Travis, what about you?
Yeah, so for me, one of my favorites is Isle of Dogs. I really like that movie. That one. Yeah, Isle of Dogs is great. I actually just recently watched Fantastic Mr. Fox, and it was really good as well. And then several months ago, I actually watched Grand Budapest Hotel for the first time. I'm late. I'm not as late, obviously, as Emily, but I am late to the Wes Anderson train. But yeah, I mean, I've liked what I've saw so far. And then 2 weeks ago, I was bored one evening when I was doing laundry, and I actually watched Rushmore.
Oh, I love Rushmore.
Which I didn't know at the time that it was a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah. I love it.
But one thing you'll notice, Emily, about Wes Anderson movies, especially if you start to watch a lot of them, is the way that the way the movies are actually shot. He uses a lot of the same style of shots in a lot of his movies. It's almost one of those things where you can watch and you don't know it's a Wes Anderson movie, and you're like, this must be a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah. Gotcha. He has a very quirky everything, art style, directing style, dialogue style. Like it's all very, honestly, if I could recommend one thing to you, it would be a Saturday Night Live sketch from a few years ago where it's a Wes Anderson horror movie. And I love that sketch. Edward Norton plays Owen Wilson, and it's so funny.
You'll have to link it to me.
I will. If anyone out there is a fan of Wes Anderson, or even not, and you want to make fun of Wes Anderson, look up the SNL sketch. It's a Wes Anderson horror movie trailer. It's so funny. It honestly, if I could be the saddest I've ever been, I could watch that video and forget about everything. It's so funny.
I have a question. Can you see who's watching right now? Is Cortland watching by chance?
I can't see who. No.
Oh, well, I'm so surprised that he wrote in and wanted us to have this conversation, but he didn't tell us what his favorite Wes Anderson movie is.
I know. He did tell me the other day that The French Dispatch got a 9-minute standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival, which I love how they judge like a movie's quality by how long the standing ovation was. And so 9 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So let's. So last question was actually from one of my friends, Ben. And it's actually about Assassin's Creed. He says, not sure if any of you have played Assassin's Creed enough to be interested in the topic, but how about Ubisoft's announcements of Assassin's Creed Infinity? I'll be honest, I had to actually go look up what this was because I haven't honestly gotten super into Assassin's Creed since Black Flag. I've tried, but for some odd reason, I just can't get sucked into them, and especially Valhalla with having over 100 hours of gameplay, it was just really hard for me just to stick with it. But Justin, you actually had a little bit of information about this, right?
Yeah. So the plan is to make it like a live service game, kind of like Destiny. I guess you could lump Fortnite in with that. where it's just always evolving. So maybe instead of an annual release, there'll be like one game, and then maybe the next year there might, like, this is the example I use. It's not a good example because this is Assassin's Creed, but like, look at the Fortnite map, for instance. Like, they've had like meteors hit and like aliens and spies and Deadpool and everybody has appeared on the Fortnite island. It would be something like that, where maybe a year later, maybe it would be the same map, but maybe there'd be some sort of event that would alter the map, or alter the story in some way. Details are pretty slim right now, so it's just kind of like a lot of speculating. But a lot of media outlets believe that holiday 2022 is the earliest we'll see it. I don't think I like this idea. I think just let it be a single player story. I don't really think we need everything to be monetized so heavily, which I'm sure this is the reason they're doing it. It's a business after all. Got to get that money. But I just don't want to see them ruin it like they've ruined Ghost Recon. They've ruined it because that's I think you could consider that a game as a service game, or a live service game, what we're gonna call it. I just don't want to see them ruin a good franchise by just trying to squeeze out a few more pennies. So yeah, I'd appreciate if they wouldn't do that. That's me though.
What if they made an Assassin's Creed game kind of like a Rainbow Six Siege, where it was a team-based game? Is that weird?
I don't think that would work. No, I don't.
Okay.
No, pass.
Yeah,
I only said that because I know you're a huge Siege fan.
They are. Ubisoft is going to be announcing a new game tomorrow, actually. If I could find the clip, IGN, get out of here, Google. I can't find it. It's like a first-person shooter. And I got to be honest with you. It's in the Tom Clancy universe. I got to be honest. It just... Oh, here it is. I found it. I'll share my screen real quick.
Bye, Justin.
Oh, no. He said, I'm out.
My bad.
Oh, man.
We'll do it live.
Yep.
But anyway, it's like this first-person shooter. I didn't add it to the stream because now I'm flustered where I kicked myself off. But it's like this first-person shooter, and honestly, it just screams free-to-play. So I don't know. We'll see tomorrow what it is. It's in the Tom Clancy universe, but I don't know what Tom Clancy died, so he definitely did not come up with this.
Kind of looks a little Division-y.
It looks
it's
a little
like
bit
Siege meets Division. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I hope it's good. I mean, anytime I see a game from even like a developer I think that might be scummy, I still hope the game is good because having good games is good for us. I mean, so I mean, I hope it's good, but just I don't know. I don't really trust Ubisoft anymore.
Does Ubisoft have any kind of free-to-play game that like competes with anything like Warzone or
they have
Fortnite or anything like that?
They had Hyperscape, I think is what it was called. It was a battle royale that wasn't very... I'm not going to say it wasn't good. It was unique, but it just didn't gain any traction. And then they have a Division free-to-play game in the works, which I believe is going to be like a Division battle royale, but that's not it.
Yeah,
that's something else.
And this announcement's supposed to be tomorrow, you said?
Yeah. I think IGN has the scoop. They'll have it tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll definitely talk about it next week and see, maybe get our reactions to it as well. But yeah, okay. Well, Emily, I know you've had all show, and we'll go to you last, but you've had all show to think about a pick of the week, and it's now come to that time for pick of the week. We're not going to sing it together because it's not that kind of show, because it's going to be terrible. But it is time for pick of the week, and Justin, we'll start with you.
Pass.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm going to pick. This is actually tough because I was going to pick Space Jam 2 because it might be the greatest movie I've ever seen. I mean, it's a
homie Flip loves that pick.
I know. I hope Flip's still here. No, I'm going to probably go with. I'm actually not prepared. I'm going to go with probably Loki. Just for the simple fact that it's changed everything now. I mean, the MCU, this foundation, this 10, 11, 12 year in the making film series is now forever flipped upside down on its head. So, I mean, everything from this point forward is different. It's all because of Loki. So I'm going to go with Loki, the finale. I had the whole season.
Loki, the finale. Okay.
The whole season.
Well, the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. You said it, and I just wasn't listening. All right. So my pick of the week is actually something that I've been using a lot lately that I bought, and it's going to sound like a shameless plug, but it's not, is my new iPad I bought, my iPad Pro, because it is now the thing I use the most. I know I talked about it last week because I talked about how they actually brought Divinity 2 to it and how impressive that was. However, just, I don't know, man. It's literally sitting beside me right now. I use it so much. It's just made my life so much easier with work and just personal use and just everything. And I will tell you that if you have an iPad Pro and you have not bought the Magic Keyboard, you need to do that because it totally changes this thing. It doesn't even feel like an iPad anymore. It feels like something completely different. But anyways, that is my pick of the week. So I hope I've bought you enough time, Emily, in case Justin stole your pick of the week by saying Loki.
We can share.
Yeah.
We can share.
Okay.
Well, if I couldn't think of anything, I was gonna say Loki. But I did think of something. It's actually not out yet, but I've been really hyped for this game.
Borderlands? No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not out yet.
I'm at the expansion, the DLC.
No, that's the whole game. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a whole new game.
Oh,
it's not a DLC. Yeah, it's a whole new game. Okay,
Now
anyways. So this game is actually also published by Gearbox, and it's called Tribes of Midgard. I don't know if you guys have seen anything on it.
Yes,
yes.
Is that the 10-player co-op game?
Yes,
I want that.
10-player or solo Viking co-op, like taking down like huge giants. You explore the Norse realm. You actually upgrade your Viking and you get loot and it just. I've been hyped for this for like the last month because they've been hyping it up on Twitter. And it looks amazing. It comes out on the 27th, as you see there.
Yeah.
It like, I love the art style. I think the art style is really awesome. It's top down. So it's like almost kind of like rogue-like top down dungeon crawler, but it's all outside, in this beautiful environment too. I cannot wait to play this. I hope that it's my pick of the week for the next couple weeks, like when it actually does come out and I get to play it. But they're also going to be doing seasons with this as well.
Oh, cool.
So, and they're free seasons. Wow. So the first season's July 27th, which is when the game comes out. You get rune systems, level rewards, new bosses, new gear, to collect, all that stuff. So, and then each season, there's a season in September, there'll be a season in November, and a season in January. And then it's just new free stuff that you get with it. So you have all these different, Andy Man, Tribes of Midgard. It's going to be something I'm going to be playing a lot when it comes out, along with Borderlands. And as you can see there, you've got like a skill tree. You get to like level up, and you get to and it's 10 players. Very few games allow co-op 10-player. So.
What happens if you don't have 10 players? Will the enemies just scale to how many players you have, or you have bots or AI?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Gearbox is always kind of known for like, doing that drop in, drop out co-op. So where, if someone drops out, it doesn't penalize you. It just, the enemies are just going to get a little bit less difficult. But the more people that are in there, the more difficult you're gonna find the bosses and stuff. So, and as you can see, they have different quests and all that too. So, but the first season is called the Wolf Saga. So.
Yeah, that looks good. I'm excited to play it. I saw this just the other day, and I was intrigued by it. But you said the 27th.
27th. Yep.
Nice. I'm excited to play
it. I'm glad you brought this up because this was not even on my radar, and I didn't even know anything about it. But me personally, I love Diablo-like games, and this looks a lot like a Diablo meets Borderlands situation, which I'm a fan of. So.
Yep.
Sounds
like
good.
Anything loot. Yeah.
And is this PC only? Is it also coming to console? Like
PlayStation and PC, I believe.
I think it's going to get PS5 version too, not just a PS4 version.
PlayStation. Yeah, it's PlayStation, so it's going to be I think PS4 and PS5 and Steam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crossplay? Do we know yet? Probably not, since it's Sony.
Probably not.
Probably not. Well, guess I'll be buying it on probably PC then.
Yeah, probably same.
Yeah. And it's really what's another really cool thing, just to kind of like add on to it. Corsair is partnering with them so that your IQ software, if you have Corsair stuff, it plays with the game. So your keyboard and all your Corsair stuff lights up with the game and what's happening with the game. So if you have a headset that's RGB and like changes colors and lights up, like if you get hit or something, then you might see like the light change or whatever. So
that's cool.
Which is pretty awesome. So
that's good. Well, good pick, and hopefully, I don't know what's. It'll probably be 2 weeks from now. We'll be talking about in the episode. So yeah, that's definitely cool. That also looks like a game. Just saying. That also looks like a game to be really good for the Steam Deck. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyways, well, that wraps up our show. Emily, I have to say, great first show. Great first show.
Fun. Y'all.
Yeah, and you educated us about Borderlands, and I'm glad you're here. And hold on, what's Homie Flip say? #ad Travis and his iPad Apple payments, man. That's right. But anyways, that wraps up 112, and we'll be back next week with 113 and all kinds of new exciting news and things to talk about. So, guys, thanks. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.